If you weren't born in the 80s, the camera QuickSnap probably doesn't sound familiar, because it surely doesn't sound familiar to me. However, where all origin stories start, this is one of the first affordable disposable cameras on the market since 1986. It used a 35mm film roll, a fixed focal length of 32mm at f10. It had a flash for lighting and a lens viewer. And as we know, cameras back then were just focused on targeting creative, fun, and memorable photos. But in these modern times, cameras are so high quality that it's normal to treasure cameras that can still do film. Since that trend came around, that's when the PocketDispo Lens has came along. A 3D printed frame that holds a recycled disposable lens on your mirrorless camera and creates the images that represents a film, videography, and photography. The best part is, it has a lot of simplicity to offer. Wagwan, my name is Tyski, and if you're new to my channel, I'm just a creative filmmaker spreading my creative vibes, and I'm definitely heavily talking about the Dispo lens and why I think this lens is really dope. So what's this lens really about? Well, for the start, it can bring back the joys of photography. The focal length starts off with a 28mm lens. It has an infinity focus, which meaning everything is in focus beyond 1.5mm. But as simple as it has a fixed aperture of f11. It shows up really nice with a vintage look when it comes to videos, and I think that's actually pretty valid when it does that. However, I think it specializes the most based on the photos really show the vintageness out of it. It's simple, it's minimal, but it's also built for multiple other cameras. It's 3D printed, so the mounting goes as follows. You have the Sony E-Mount, Fujifilm's X-Mount, Canon RF mount, Nikon C-Mount, Micro Four Thirds, L-Mount, and lastly EF M-Mount. Now notice how I didn't mention any mounts that relate to DSLRs. It's been told by the brand PocketDispo that DSLRs are built in a way where disposable lenses cannot work properly, and that its main focus is mainly for mirrorless cameras. But let me show you why. It's not the fact that they can't, but it's the fact that they're not compatible. So this is my 2011 DSLR, the Canon T3i. I've had this for quite a long time, and still to this day, it still takes fantastic photos. I don't have an adapter that's gonna allow me to just like smash this on here, so I'm just gonna kind of hold it onto there and just kind of work with that. All right, so even for me to being this close to the tree, it seems like the lens can't make this camera focus that properly well. Like you can see some major details here, and it's making it to the point that it looks as if this is like a 70 to 100 micro lens at like 0.5f. Might not fully be accurate here, but it's kind of what it seems like. And so you can start to see the details of the actual tree bark itself, like details of the plants, even the grass, and it still has that like hazy, filmy look style to it. And it's on a DSLR, so it's like even better. But yo, I'm not gonna lie, this is actually kind of dope. But yet, if I were just to film normally towards my camera, you see it as a, like literally just a blur. And like, I can't even adjust to fix that. And I can understand why Dispo Lens isn't doing for DSLRs only because of this factor, but if you can find yourself a third-party adapter, not gonna lie, this would be really dope for some micro shots. I mean, as you can clearly see, it's logically not ideal to be putting a Dispo Lens on a DSLR for that reason, as you see, but as you would always know, as being a creative, there's not a set rule when it comes for photography or videography or just being creative in general, so you know, if you're about that micro shots, go for it. But the price, what about this price? Well, at the time of releasing this video, this price goes for $49.99. But for $9.99 more, you can also get the flash drive that offer presets. The presets offer color grading tones that resembles your digital photos to look more like film. And there's 3 presets to offer. And disclaimer, I do have dyslexia, so I don't know how to pronounce some of these things right. There's the Ilford preset, the Fuji preset, and the Kodak preset. These presets are all related to film, adding grain, contrast, black and whites, and vivid colors of some sort. And for the compatibility of these presets, they can be used in Lightroom, Photoshop, Luminar, and any of the software that utilizes an XMP or a DNG file. Overall, I gotta say, my experience with these lenses has just been super fantastic. And if you're willing to cop one of these on your own, well, down below in the link description, I have a 10% off for the promo code that you can use. Fair warning, it is an affiliate link, so if you cop it from my link with a 10% off, you are also supporting me with the commission, so I appreciate you. To wrap this video up, I want to talk about what makes this lens useful for me in my everyday task or the things that I just like to create. So I like to create story reels on my IG. These are videos that don't necessarily have a placement for a vlog, and they're just better off to be on the IG because I can probably tell the story within a minute to a minute and 30 seconds. And with these type of videos, I always shoot in vertical, and there's only a small amount of time that I would do horizontal specifically for the edit, but I like to use it a lot for BTS also. When I'm filming with my Panasonic GH5 and set up my social Sony a7S III, I like to use these lenses for behind the scenes video and sometimes photos. Photos that don't necessarily need to be posted out onto the gram as the banger shots. Sometimes I like to take photos that might just be for the story. What about my clientele video? Well, that can be mainly for music videos, because music videos can just use anything and there's no rules to say of how you can film a music video. So sometimes it just works well in a music video. Lastly is a going out experience. This lens will be perfect for when I'm going out at night or even at day. It's light enough to not be heavy and not want to not take it, so that's also kind of a factor that I think about. Regardless though, these are one of those lenses you're just gonna have to try for yourself to get the full experience. So if you feel like the Pocket Dispo is something of your interest, well, with all means, like the video. And if you want to see more videos like this, then feel free to subscribe. It's entirely up to you. Once again, my name is Tyski. Make it do what it is, what it doesn't, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, I didn't even show y'all. This is my new space right here. I'm putting a lot of things together, and I got a new bed, got a whole new office. This is gonna have to be explored in another video.